The last studio we're going to be talking about is a studio that hasn't been talked about since 2020 when they released a game called Dream, and that's Media Molecule, also known as Little Big Planet. Too, they also did those series itself. Dream, I was never interested in playing Dream, but I am happy that it exists because I think it is so cool in its own Mario Maker way, how people can make their own video game and just some of the creativity. It's almost people creating their own resume for people to notice this, and in this giant playground. Even seeing people make a game that exists in Dream itself, right? And I thought that was really cool of the tools that they had. But we haven't heard anything from them for a while, and I guess some of the questions I wonder is like some of the updates that they did was there was multiplayer and there's VR, but do we think we're going to see like, I don't know, like a PS5 edition? Now, it is playable on PS5, but they said there is some certain things missing when you play that edition. I wonder, are we going to get kind of like a fully like new updated only like, you know, Dream game, since it's more powerful of a console, that maybe there's more options for that? Do you see that exist at all?
I don't think so, because only reason why I say that is because Dream doesn't really make them money. Sony loves money. And as cool as a dev and toolkit Dream is, I actually watched recently the Tyrannosaurus Rex scene from Jurassic Park recreated in Dreams. Like that movie scene. And it looked awesome. Like that developer, that guy who built that out for that experience, that looked really, really cool. And he's working on building like a whole Jurassic Park game. I think it is a powerful tool for those that are smart, brilliant, know how to use it. But because it's not like catchy, flashy, makes them a bajillion dollars in transactions, I just don't see Sony really spending the effort to make it even better on PS5 or adding more value to it for the 5. I think they're just kind of like, well, we tried, and they're just going to leave it on the PS4 and do other things. Like, it's not really worth their time.
I think it's interesting you said that, because I feel like this type of studio should have been shut down a long time ago with that kind of idea. They're not making money with shut them down.
Yeah.
They got to be using something with them, and either is that engine that they're using helping out. I wouldn't be surprised if somehow Edition comes in there, but the only reason I said that because the new Little Big Planet that came out was not them making it; it was a different studio that were doing it, which is interesting. So it makes you wonder, like, what is Media Molecule doing over there, since now these other people are doing it? You could probably 100% right. I think that it would probably never get a PS5 edition, but I also wouldn't be surprised if it did happen, just for the heck of it. And it might be like one of those like sneak under the rug, like, oh hey, it exists.
Yeah, here's Dreams PS5.
Yeah, they're not gonna be like, it's not gonna be like a trailer dedicated to it.
Yeah,
it'll be like something that's tweeted or something that just a news article is like, hey, if you didn't know this, now there's a PS5 edition, or you can get the upgrade for it for like a certain amount of money. But based on their pattern of development, I wonder if it's time for a title that I actually like by them. It's probably my favorite series from them. And it's funny because I only played one of them. I don't have a PSP Vita to play it, but that's Tearaway. And I like Tearaway. If people haven't played Tearaway, it's basically a bunch of it's like almost like Paper Mario, but it's more of a 3D, and it just deals with just paper. You create your own character, and you go through these levels that is just full of confetti and paper. It's really cool just to look at, and it's a platformer, so it fits me perfectly. But based on the pattern, they always go into rotation of Little Big Planet, Tearaway, and then, this game kind of threw out of the loop. But I wonder if it is time for a new Tearaway, because if you haven't seen Tearaway before, Jerome, or people that haven't played it, it's a beautiful game, and I'm excited to see if this game come out, what they would do with the haptic feedback along with the graphical front, because on the PSP edition, they actually had it where they had it in the game where if you're touching the back of the controller, there's a part where they will have your fingers come into the game, and you can do stuff, and it's touchscreen that you can like craft your own papers and all this stuff. So I like those creative games. I always like those kind of games. It really felt more like an indie than anything. It makes me want to go play it. But the last one that was out was early on the PS4 called Tearaway Unfolded. Okay. And so and you could probably find it pretty cheap. But I think it's time for a new Tearaway, and I think that it would be awesome if Sony would kind of let go of the blockbuster leash a little bit and let these kind of like these little small games come back in once in a while. And I think Tearaway would be great for those people out there that, that would enjoy it. And I'm guessing that you never got a chance to kind of give those games a try.
Yeah. Vita is life, but I never really played Tearaway.
You should definitely try it then if you can find a copy on the Vita. Or if so, you could probably find it really cheap for PS4 probably. And so
I'd get it for the Vita.
You get it for the Vita? Yeah. And so, yeah. But that is it for our show. I want to thank everybody for listening to our show. And as you know, this is part of the In-Game Boss program that we're giving other variety shows. Jerome, I want to thank you so much for making the time to come on to kind of help represent Sony. But that is not it, Jerome, because you're probably not going to be here for the next one because Jerome will probably be back. But we got to go to our last big publisher to finish off the studio status, and that is Nintendo. But
y'all don't want me here for that.
Yeah. But overall, it's funny. I did a rating for Xbox, but for you, though, it's tough because we don't know what else is up for Sony to give it a rating score. We don't know what's going on. If we had a list of games or a list of more studios that to see who we're prepared for, then it'd be a different one. So it's hard for me to put a grade on it. But I guess we can go for a hope. I hope that Sony really comes through this year with a lot of surprise bangers that are not part of a franchise. I hope that we get some new IPs that get a chance to be a blockbuster hit in its own way. I love God of War, but I think it's time for something else. I like Horizon Zero Dawn series, but I feel like there's something needs to happen, something else. And so, but we will see what happens. Anything else you want to say?
I'm gonna give them a C. They're not failing, but they're not passing exceptionally well. Like you said, because of the unknowns of what is coming down the road. So I'll give them a C right now. And C means there's definitely always room for improvement. And so if Sony comes out early part of the year and they're just like, boom, here are our bangers, they're definitely going to move up to that B, that A status.
Okay.
But right now, I'm going to put them in a holding pattern at a C, and I'm just going to wait and see what they do.
Wait and see what they do. Okay. All right. And thank you so much, and we'll catch you next time.